Hi, welcome to another episode of Montana Shares, your opportunity to find out about the nonprofits that make our state so great. I'm your host, Bill Crane, and today I have Sandy from the Montana Restoration Foundation. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you.
So let's start with, most people probably don't know this name, so let's kind of start with the big picture and all aspects of Montana Restoration Foundation.
The Montana Restoration Foundation recently changed their name just this year, early this year. We used to be called the original Governor's Mansion Restoration Society. And we primarily put on events to raise funds for restoration projects at the original Governor's Mansion. And when we renamed ourselves and we're rebranding, we are going to look to other historic areas in Montana to help them with restoration projects and education. It's also about education in Montana, of Montana's history. And this board became a nonprofit corporation in 2010. Before that, they were kind of attached in a strange way to the city of Helena when the Mayor Dave Lewis in the late 60s appointed them, the original members, and then the state took it back in 1980, the mansion, and then this board that we have now was kind of founded and attached to the Historical Society.
Excellent. And so we'll just start with sort of what you've been doing, and since the other part's rather new, what does it take to keep the Governor's Mansion in good health and open to the public and stuff like that?
Well, the legislature gives funding for outside projects, like it just had a major restoration of the outside, the roof, the bricks, the front porch, the copper on the carriage house, and General Services Division received funding from that a couple of sessions ago. But they give no funding for inside projects, like we just paid for a bedroom on the 3rd floor that had a lot of water damage from the leaky roof. And that was about $6,000 that the board paid to have that redone. And now we're getting ready to fund what was currently being used as a bedroom that they're going to turn back into a card room, where the gentlemen used to go with their cigars and play cards. So we're getting ready to do that towards the end of this year. But we have 3 major events during the year to raise funds, and the first one is the Secret Garden Tour, which is coming up in July 9th. And then we do the historic Halloween walking tour in late October. And then we do the holiday home tour in this early December.
Okay, so that's Governor's Mansion still. When can people tour that? Let's start with some of the obvious things.
It's becoming summer now, so it's open more often, but there's a website for the Montana Historical Society that gives their dates and times of their tours. And they're usually on the hour, like starting at noon. So at noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And the Historical Society manages all of that. The board doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, and is that something that you go get tickets on site there?
You can buy tickets on site, you can call and take a group and schedule a tour, or you can go during the times that they generally do the tours. And it's an excellent tour, especially if Bobby Harris is doing it. She's an excellent tour guide.
Okay, and I have to say, I've never done it, so I'll make a point to do it this year.
Yes, you need to do that.
Okay, so in a way, you're sort of known for your events. I mean, I'm to a certain, not as much as protecting the Governor's Mansion, but you are sort of known for these events. So let's talk about a little more in depth on the Secret Gardens tour.
We have anywhere from 6 to 8 gardens each year, and it's a secret where they are until the day of the tour. So you buy your tickets at the Helena Community Credit Union or the Historical Society gift store and the Hallmark store, or you can buy them the day of the tour at the mansion. And we have a market on the street. The city allows us to close the street for the day, and we have a vendor market and a food vendor so they can come buy their lunch and sit at tables. Well, they'll be on the street this year, the tables to eat your lunch, because they'll be putting in new lawn and things after all the major renovations at the mansion this last year. And then the tour, you get your map. If you buy your ticket in advance, you come to the mansion. You get a free tour if you would like of the mansion that day. And you do a self-guided tour of the gardens. We give you a map and off you go to spend as much time as you want from 10 to 4 that day. You can do it in half a day or all day, whatever you choose to do.
And so we get to see, did you say 6?
6 to 8.
6 to 8, okay.
Yeah, and we do them anywhere from out in the valley, East Helena, Montana City, Jefferson City. Tizer Gardens was on it one year. It was one of our secret gardens, so we travel a little ways, but it's great fun.
Okay, wonderful. So I think we've covered the date and the amounts. That's $15 for adults and $5 for children. And you can get them at the 3 sponsors you mentioned. So I think that one's sort of covered.
Right.
Let's go to the next one.
The holiday or the historic walking tour is October 20th and 21st. It's a Friday, Saturday. We actually do that on 2 evenings because it's an evening one, so it's a little spookier. And we have tour guides that lead small groups of tour goers around certain areas of Helena, and there may be ghosts popping up out of coffins, or at the Myrnaloy where the old jail was, there'll be somebody in jail clanking around, or and the tour takes about, it's walking, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. And this year it may move somewhere else. We don't know till Ellen Baumler from the Historical Society helps us with the script, and because she's the resident ghost expert. And that one is well attended also, especially by families. We usually have on those 2 nights a total of about 800 people that go through.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Okay, and then
we have the holiday home tour, and that will be December 10th. Yes, December 10th. It's a Sunday from noon to 4 p.m. And we have about 6 homes in Helena and the mansion that are decorated for Christmas. And you actually get to tour the inside of the homes to see, and a lot of them are historic. And one year we had one up off of South Rodney that was an old bakery, and they still had the bakery in the basement and the old ovens that no one had ever removed. So it's great fun to see. People just don't know what's out there.
The secret bakery.
Yeah, the secret bakery, yes. And one thing I will say that we're always looking for are volunteers. So we need volunteers for these events. So if anyone would like to volunteer, they can go on our website and follow us. And there's also an email on the website that they can email us to say they're interested in volunteering or being on the home tour or being on the Secret Garden tour, and we'd be happy to come visit with them.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this volunteer opportunity. What types of things do you use your volunteers for?
Well, for the Secret Garden tour, they get to stand in a garden. And so depending on the size of the yard, we had one yard that needed 7 volunteers, so we have a couple of people at the front gate where we determine where the gate is, where people show their wristband, because we give them wristbands to know that they can come on the tour. And we'll have volunteers standing around throughout the garden, making sure no one goes in the homeowner's home. So we have someone at both doors. So it's nothing too physical. And the holiday home tour, that's someone at the front door checking wristbands, and then depending on the size of the house, if it's an old mansion with 3 stories, and we have a couple of volunteers on every floor, just keeping an eye, to make sure. We've never ever had a problem, but it's just nice. The homeowners like to have them there, and oftentimes the homeowners, we furnish cookies and things to the people who come in. And then the walking tour, it's to be a ghost somewhere along the route, or a tour guide, and there's a script, so it's not like they have to memorize anything. and they're all in costume for that walking tour and for Halloween. They could be dressed like a ghost or someone in a prison outfit or Mrs. Stewart and Governor Stewart. We have their ghost usually on the tour.
Okay.
So yeah, it's great fun.
Good. So definitely can use volunteers.
Yes, we use about 70 volunteers for the Secret Garden Tour because we also have people at the mansion kind of helping out with the raffle. We do a raffle at the Secret Garden Tour, and we usually have about 50 raffle prizes spread down the street on tables, and someone kind of manages that. And, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. What else should we be talking about?
Let's see. We're also always looking for board members.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking right now for 3 board members because I'll be going off the board.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyone who's interested in helping out with events, it's a working board. We don't have staff
Mm-hmm.
that does the work for us. We do the work. We do the marketing. We do the advertising, posters, whatever it takes. We arrange all that with vendors in town. So yeah, it's a wonderful volunteer board to serve on.
Good. Okay, well, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on, and
Thank you.
I hope you have a beautiful day for your Secret Garden Tour.
Thank you. I think we will.
Good.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in as always, and have a wonderful evening.